I believe children need to be in very secure, understood relationships to learn. So that notion of relational pedagogy, the relationship is the learning for children. The relationship's like a room that a child walks into, and there's lots of really interesting things going on in that room that they can participate in and experience. And there's a very clear boundary. The room has enough room for that child to explore and do wonderful things, but they know that there's a boundary. So they feel safe enough to actually go and wander around and look at all the different experiences in that room. That's how I kind of feel, you know, really good relationships with children offer them opportunities to do those things. And they can do things in their own way in that room, but there is a bit of containment and a sense of interest and excitement.
If you came in and you didn't know the child or the educator, you would see evidence that the child and the educator, to put it in plain English, liked each other and enjoyed each other and were happy to be in each other's company a lot of the time. You would also see during tense moments, or moments when there's conflict or difference, or I'm thinking about things like if a child has a temper tantrum, if a child is really, really distressed, you would see evidence that that educator knows how to help that child in that situation. No magic solutions probably, but you would see lots of evidence of individualised responses or things that that educator would say that demonstrate that he or she knows that child really well. I think from the child's perspective, you would see that balance of the child wanting to be close, wanting to interact, wanting to have conversations, wanting to celebrate achievements with the child, using that relationship to be independent, to venture forth, to explore, to take risks, to meet challenges. I mean, I think it's interesting if you think about a warm relationship between an educator and a child. It has some of the same characteristics of a warm, positive, mutually respectful relationship between two adults. There's that sense of acceptance of the other person and therefore acceptance of self. And I think you can see that even in very young children when they have really good relationships with educators.
When relationships are going well, we see very finely tuned interactions between the carer and the infant. Now, babies, of course, come into the world with a range of their own capacities to signal, and the majority of babies work very hard to signal their emotional and social needs right from the beginning. What they need is a carer who themselves has the capacity to watch and respond.
I always think it looks a little bit like a nicely flowing dance. So it seems well paced, there's appropriate turn taking, they seem to be on the same level in terms of energy, and they seem to be going at the same pace. And it can be hard work really, you know, the adult in the relationship needs to adjust their energy levels, needs to adjust their tone of voice, needs to be constantly thinking about where is the child coming from. Hard work, but you know, if you've had a good experience yourself, then it sort of seems to flow, and it's all kind of skills that we take for granted, but are really vital for a child to feel like someone is in tune with them.